Well, what's going on, guys? Well, it is a good day today. We got some new tools in from Metabo HPT. I'm a big Makita Metabo fan, so I'm happy to finally be partnering with Metabo HPT to bring you guys some of the latest tools they have. So first off, we got a new miter saw here. This is the C12 RSH3. Now this has two previous versions out. I can't really find a lot of info on this current version. Metabo's website, I think they have it on there. I tried looking for it, but the page wasn't loading, which was a little weird. But this is going to be their new 12-inch double bevel miter saw. And this has, of course, the top handle here. There's two types of miter saws where you have the miter saw handle over here, and then you've got it vertical right here in the center. We'll get to that one in just a second here. I'm going to be doing individual reviews for all of these tools here in the near future once I get a chance to, of course, use them more thoroughly. This is probably the tool that I've been most excited about. I have the old version of this. Well, I don't know if say the old version. This is the 18-volt version of their top-end hammer drill. This is going to be the DV18DC. So this is going to be their all-new, new and improved with the reactive force control hammer drill here. They've really improved a lot of things versus the older 36-volt one. It's definitely significantly shorter, which is pretty cool. So I got the 2-speed control, of course. Drill mode, hammer mode, all that relatively stays the same. The one biggest thing I wish they changed was moving the light from here up to here like pretty much every other brand does. It does get annoying. You put this thing down, it shines right in your eyes here when you're trying to look down the drill. It's just not fun. That's my only complaint about this drill, but this thing has tons of power from when I was trying it out, and they've really made it quite a bit lighter. The older 36-volt version of this thing was bulky, heavy. This thing seems to improve on pretty much everything they've tried to do. Even the chuck feels smoother. It's got that really interesting kind of locking thing that the new Makita XGT hammer drill has, and I think it does it actually better than the Makita. I'll get to that in a future video on what I mean by exactly that. But if you've used the Makita XGT, you know that chuck kind of locks and it kind of likes to hold on even when there's nothing in the chuck itself. And they've made a lot of really cool improvements to this. And this thing is relatively affordable too. I think it's like $120, $30, $40 on Amazon right now. That's kind of the one place you can get it right now. But definitely check out the new higher end Metabo HPT drills. Are fantastic to see. This is one tool. I don't necessarily use these tools a ton, but this is the oscillating or multi-tool, whichever one you want to call it. Now, Metabo HPT has been pretty well known to have one of the worst multi-tools in the brands that you can kind of find from reviews. The older version is not super hot. This one, though, pulled this thing out of the box and I used it. It's pretty wild, actually. I'm blown away by how light this thing is. Check this out. I've got the Makita version, which is not the high-end version right here. Look at just how like chunky the Makita version is compared to the Metabo HPT version. It's like night and day difference. You got this stupid level in the way of the Makita version, and I don't like this about the Makita version at all. There's a piece to get lost here. Check this out. You open this thing up. This thing then comes out. Look, it comes all the way out, and you put your blade back in. That's an easy piece to get lost there. Really just not a great design by Makita. Metabo HPT clearly saw that and they said, hey, we've got a better idea. They got the latch on the top. You pull it all the way up, and check this out. It comes up just enough so you can slide your blade in there, and then of course you just lock it back down, and that's it. That piece does not come out, and that is a fantastic design there. Other complaint I had about the Makita is it's like super chunky. I mean, you can't get your hand all the way around this thing. It's just horrible. And for some reason, there's like a light on the side. It's like, doesn't really make any sense. And it's just kind of really weird. Whereas the Metabo actually has a really nice light on the front. They've actually made a number of great improvements to this thing. The slide switch has a nice little grip on it. It's fantastic. Your speed adjustment is right here on the front. Awesome design there. And then, of course, your battery does have a little bit of isolation there, too. And lastly, it's got an amazing grip on it too. I'm like, yes, thank you. Finally, a multi-tool that's not just, with some really weird grip for, I don't know who they're designing these tools for. It's obviously not human for the most part, but this is actually a really ergonomic design. And I will say the vibration from this thing, it's got UVP, user vibration protection. It is extremely quiet and extremely low vibration. I'm amazed going from the Makita to this one, just how much better the Metabo is and how much cheaper it is too. This thing's only 99 bucks on Amazon right now, and I've just been blown away by how good this thing is. For the few times I do need this tool, this is a way better tool than this Makita. Honestly, it's night and day. Just from the handful of times I've used this thing out of the box since I got it in yesterday, way better. All right, well, let's move on to the final tool I got here. This thing is all new. This is the Metabo HPT. This is going to be the stud, and it's going to be the C3607DB. This is their multi-volt, 36-volt, 7¼ inch saw. This thing is pretty massive, but it's not as heavy as it looks, which is pretty cool. It's got a huge, beefy handle on it. They've really designed this saw to, it's a great framing saw. That's what they aim for it. Everything is very clear, easy to read here on the side, very easy to use. Just an overall big saw for really doing a lot of framing really quickly. I will say from using it here a couple of times, just spooling up, spooling it down, it does have a bit of that usual kind of Metabo HPT delay. When you click the trigger, it's got like a 3/4 of a second to a second delay from when you click the trigger to then when it starts, functioning. So my only complaint about that so far from using it, once at this point, is that's the only thing I found that's kind of a little weird about it. But other than that, it's a really cool saw. Can't wait to really get this thing tested out. There is a mode on here which I'd like to try out. That it's got that kind of like quiet, ramp up mode. But Metabo HPT is kind of well known for having those, quieter modes on their tools, which some people it makes sense on, some people it doesn't. I've got their angle grinder, which I'd like to do some more reviews on that thing, which it does have that, and it is kind of cool because it does help save battery life when you don't need the angle grinder working at full speed. But at times when you want the more power, I don't feel like it ramps up to more power as quickly as you want it to. You really got to be pushing it, and then it kind of is like, oh, I'm gonna need more power, and then it gives you more power. I wish it was a little bit more instantaneous of how fast it's sensing up and bogging down. All right, give me more power. So gonna test this thing out. It is a lot bigger in person. You can kind of see it, compared to my head here. It's a pretty big saw, but it's definitely got a lot of power. 36-volt saw, so definitely can't wait to try this thing out. I also did get a few other tools in that I actually bought myself. These are the tools that Metabo HPT sent me so far. But I also got the radio in, which I do want to do a review on that. The reviews on Amazon are kind of mixed on that thing, and I was kind of originally thinking the biggest complaint I saw was people were talking about that it wasn't very loud, but I'll get to that in a future video. So I'll be covering a lot more Metabo HPT tools here, guys, and I'll get these things actually tested out before I give my full opinion, my full review on these tools. So we'll get these things tested out, and we'll get some additional reviews on these things, guys. But new stuff from Metabo HPT, it's relatively affordable too, which is one of the big things I like about Metabo, and I definitely can see some major improvements on these tools right out of the box. The hammer drill, the oscillating tool are just, miles ahead of the previous generation, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most in testing those tools out. So guys, thanks for watching, take care, have a great day, and stay safe out there.